In this lesson, we will learn how to create an IDS based on the information requirements provided by CHEK project. An IDS is a specification from Building Smart that allow us to encode in a computer interpretable format the exchange requirements for models, namely objects, classifications, properties, even values and units that was specified in some requirement and that needs to be exchanged. So these requirements can be from the IFC itself or from domain, any kind of domain, or even from custom dictionaries like the one that some properties we provide in the project CHEK. This usually is the encoding of the level of information need in a computer readable format that will allow us to run automatic verifications. Basically, an IDS have two parts. One related to the information, where we need to provide information like the milestones, the purpose, the author, the date where this specification was created, and then a list of specifications where each specification has the applicability, that is how we filter to what elements or classes in the IFC these requirements apply to, and the requirements itself. That can be combination of properties, it can be attributes, it can be classifications, it can be many things, and we'll show real examples after. So we will do a real example of the implementation from the exchange information requirements of CHEK, part of the requirements of the level of information need provided, and we will focus on these two concrete examples. The requirements for walls that we have here, where we have the minimum geometrical information and the minimum alphanumerical information, but we'll be focusing mainly on the alphanumerical information requirements, since the purpose of IDS is to specify alphanumerical information rather than geometrical information. So we will dig in the walls that we have here. We have in terms of alphanumerical information, we don't have much requirements, but we have the IFC class and a property set with a property called the pset wall command from Building Smart, with the property is external. Also, we will be looking on the requirements for roofs, where we have a similar requirement of just one property and the IFC class, and the property is the roof angle on a custom property set, the CHEK command, and this is a custom from the project. So then the practical example, we will be using this IDS editor from Beam Vision. That is a free to use system, and we can dig on how to create the IDS. This is when you access this link, this is the view of the IDS maker from DataComp, and we can easily press here to start editing an IDS. The IDS will start as blank, and we have here on the left the structure of the IDS, where we have the metadata and the specifications. So the metadata is where we fill the information about what will be our general idea about the IDS, like the title, the author, the date, the version, the description, the milestone, the purpose, and the copyright. This is information that we can provide as a metadata of the IDS, and then we'll create a list of specifications. Okay, I have here some specifications that I will delete, and I will create from scratch. To create a specification, we just need to write the name of the specification, that we can say that we are doing the specification for walls, add new, and then inside the wall, if we expand, we can start by adding all the information needed. So there is a general information about the specification, where we need to provide the name, an identifier, that is a code for you to identify this specification, the version of the IFC, where we are specifying these requirements. In this case, CHEK project works with IFC4, we are specifying for IFC4, and what type of specification this is about. is a requirement, is an optional, is a forbidden requirement. So we have a required type of requirement. We have some description. That is a more descriptive way of saying what the requirement is about. So here I can put some description like validate all if all the walls of the necessary information. This can be even the instruction, and the description can be a more simple description, information requirements for walls. And then we will go further to the applicability, where we will filter to what elements in our IFC we are specifying the requirement. So in the applicability, we can add filter by entity, by attribute, by property, by material classification, or by a relationship. In this case, we can simply use entity because we want to filter the IFC walls. So what we want is to specify the entity name through a value, and we just say is a IFC wall. And as you see, this platform will automatically search in the IFC schema for the classes that exist. So we have the IFC wall. We could even use the search from the Building Smart Data Dictionary, but in this case it's not needed. And we have here the applicability. Okay, we can start by activating the live preview to see a more human readable format of our requirement. And here is the model must contain entities that have an IFC class, IFC wall. But this is just a selector. And now we need to specify the requirements. The requirements is, if you go back to the requirement that I have here in the left, we have this requirement that is about a property that is external from the property set wall common. So we can put this requirement as a property, and this property is required. We can have a URI, a unique identifier online. This works well when we are working, for example, with properties from the Building Smart Data Dictionary. If we don't have, it's not mandatory to put, but it's mandatory to put the property set name and the property name. Property set is a value, and is the pset wall common. Let's turn off the live preview, and in the property name we can have the is external property. Okay, this is external. Immediately the software knows that this is from Building Smart and knows the type of data that I'm expecting in this property, that is a boolean, and it automatically fills in here. Of course, I could also set requirements about the property value. In this case there was no requirement, but this is something that I could have. Okay, like this we have all our requirements, and we can see the live preview that the model must contain entities that have the IFC class IFC wall and meet the following requirements: that must have a property is external of a property set pset wall common. So we are all set. We can add another specification. For example, I can add the specification for roofs. Add new. Expand is exactly the same. So I have an identifier. I have the IFC version, if it's required or not, a description. Okay, I can have here a description, instructions, and so on. Okay, this is general information. And then I can filter the applicability. In this case, again, filter by entity, because I just want to select the IFC roofs. Entity name, IFC roof. Okay, from Building Smart. Then I set the requirements, and as you can see here, the requirement is just a property set, roof angle from CHEK common. So property, required, I don't have a URI, I don't have instructions, but I have a value, a pset. So pset now is custom. I need to put CHEK common, and I need to define my own, and the property value, the property name, that is roof angle. Okay, again, I need to define my own. Since I'm defining my own, the software doesn't know what is the data type. I can specify here the data type, I can say, for example, that this is an angle, and I can say that this is FC plane angle measurement to do this specification. Okay. As you can see, you can live preview this specification also, but also in the bottom the software is automatically validating the file if this is according to the rules of the IDS. So we have both specifications set. We can then look to the XML format, that is the format of the IDS. This is the real IDS, how it looks like. Of course, is way more hard to read in this format, but for the machine this is very friendly. But we have here all the information that is specified. So if you see here is the information part, then there is the specifications part with a list of specifications. Specification number 1, specification number 2, and you can read and see that one is for IFC wall, to detect the IFC wall, that has the property set and the property, and the other was for the IFC roof with the property set and the property. Okay. After we have this, we can download the file. Okay, here is the download file, and now we can use this to validate our model. So here I have a model, an IFC model open in Blender with the Bonsai Beam add-in, and I can in here go in the IFC tester and validate my IFC with the IDS that I just created. After I select my file, I can execute the tester, and immediately it will generate for me this HTML page where all the specification can be checked. I check that all my walls contain the property needed, but my roofs do not comply with the requirement.